The camera pans across a noisy high school cafeteria, laughter, chatter, the clinking of trays, and then suddenly, silence. Everyone turns to look. A group of popular boys has surrounded a girl sitting quietly at the corner table. The new girl. And in that moment, one cruel hand reaches out to grab her arm, twisting it hard enough to make her gasp. You can almost feel the tension. The whole room watching, waiting. Nobody moves. Nobody helps. Until one voice cuts through the air like thunder, let go of her. Now. Before we dive in, make sure you hit the like button if you believe no one deserves to be bullied, and subscribe, because this story will remind you why standing up for what's right can change everything. Her name was Lena Carter, a quiet transfer student who just moved to Ridgeway High after her dad, a former firefighter, passed away in a rescue accident. She was shy, spoke little, and often sat alone. Her clothes weren't designer, her backpack was old, but her eyes carried a quiet strength, the kind you only see in people who've been through storms. The bullies noticed that. Especially Zach, the self-proclaimed king of the school. Every day he found a new target, a new joke, a new reason to prove his power. And that day, Lena became his entertainment. He smirked as he stood over her, holding her tray of food. "What's wrong, new girl? You too good to talk to people?" Lena looked up, calm but firm. "I didn't do anything to you." "Oh, you just exist, and that's annoying," Zach said, before pushing her tray to the floor. The cafeteria erupted with laughter. Lena just stared at him, her breathing steady. That calmness, it made him angrier. He grabbed her wrist and twisted. "Say sorry, new girl." Her wince drew gasps from a few nearby students, but no one dared move. No one, except Ethan. Ethan was the kind of guy people noticed but never really knew. A senior. Tall, quiet, always reading in the back of class. Rumors said he'd once been expelled from another school for fighting, but no one knew why. He stood up slowly, his chair screeching against the floor. "Let her go," he said again, his voice low and steady. Zach turned, snorting. "What's this? The cafeteria hero? Back off, man. We're just talking." Ethan took a step forward. "That's not talking. That's bullying." The laughter died. Even Zach's friends hesitated. But Zach pushed harder, twisting Lena's arm until she gasped. "What are you gonna do about it?" And in that moment Ethan moved. It was fast. Controlled. A blur. He grabbed Zach's arm, twisted it around, and within seconds, Zach was on the floor, crying, clutching his wrist. Gasps filled the room. No punches. No chaos. Just silence and shock. Lena sat frozen, trembling slightly. Ethan looked at her and simply said, "You okay?" She nodded, blinking away tears. Teachers rushed in. Zach was sent to the nurse. Ethan was escorted to the principal's office again. The rumors spread like wildfire. Ethan took down Zach with one move. Some called him a hero, others a troublemaker. But none of them knew the truth. That night, Lena found Ethan sitting alone outside the school gate. She hesitated before walking over. "You didn't have to do that," she said softly. He shrugged. "Yeah, I did. People will say you hurt him." "People said worse things about me before," he replied. "But bullies only stop when someone stands up." She sat beside him in silence. Then she noticed a bracelet on his wrist, a worn leather band with initials carved into it. "EC?" she asked. He smiled faintly. "My little sister. Emily Carter." Lena froze. "Carter? That's my last name." Ethan looked at her, confused. Then realization struck. "Wait, your dad was Mark Carter?" Lena's eyes widened. "You knew my dad?" Ethan nodded slowly. "He saved my sister in that fire 2 years ago. I never got to thank him." Tears welled in her eyes. "He didn't make it out." "I know," Ethan said quietly. "But because of him, my sister's alive. I promised I'd always protect people like he did." That's why I can't stand watching bullies. Lena wiped her tears. For the first time since her father's death, she smiled, not because the pain was gone, but because someone understood. The next day, everything changed. When Zach returned to school, word had already spread. The video of him trying to hurt Lena and Ethan stopping him had gone viral among students. Comments flooded the school's private chat groups. Finally, someone stood up to him. Lena didn't deserve that. Ethan's a legend. Zach avoided eye contact. The principal suspended him for bullying. But the real punishment was the silence. The same people who used to laugh with him now looked away. Meanwhile, Lena became braver. She started joining clubs, smiling more, and even giving a small speech at the school assembly about kindness and courage. It only takes one person to stand up, she said, her voice trembling but strong. And when that happens, others find their voice too. The audience was silent, then broke into applause. Ethan, watching from the back row, gave a small nod. She caught his eye and smiled. Weeks later, they started a campaign together called Stand Strong, aimed at stopping bullying through empathy and action. Students who once stayed silent now spoke up. Teachers supported them. Ridgeway High slowly changed, and one afternoon, as they walked past the cafeteria where it all began, Lena said quietly, "You know, if my dad were here, he'd probably thank you." Ethan smiled. "No. He's the reason I did it." The camera zooms in on Lena's wrist, wearing the same bracelet Ethan gave her, now with a second set of initials, MC. The video fades to black with the message, "One act of courage can change everything." If this story touched your heart, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Because sometimes, the smallest stand can make the loudest impact.